All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. We had a phenomenal Monday, and your week is off to a great start. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. Going to dive into the fundamentals, trading economics, and then I want to take a look at the euros and the pounds this morning. Just get an update on where those are. Got some data coming out this week that is going to be very pertinent for us. So let's go ahead and dive in. As I'm changing over, if you can hear me okay, please drop me a 1 in the chat. Perfect. Appreciate it. All right. Cool. So, UK wage growth. Wages continue to rise at a record pace. Regular pay, which excludes bonus payment, in the UK went up 7.8% year on year. In the 3 months to July, the same as in the previous period. And the most since comparable records began in 2001. Meanwhile, jobless rate also rose 4.3%, the highest since Q3 of 2021, in a sign the labor market is cooling off after months of unprecedented monetary tightening by the Bank of England. All right, so got tight monetary market, but wage growth continues to increase. All right, so that shall be interesting as we move to next week when we have rate statements for the UK. German investor morale slightly up, but it hits a 3-year low. Then we had some other ones that I had. Here we go. European stock market remains subdued on Tuesday as investors analyze a slew of economic data on its potential impact on monetary policy. In August, German wholesale prices continued their decline, dropping to 2.7% year on year, while UK regular pay growth remained unchanged at 7.8% for the 3 months ending in July. Investors were preparing for the ECB upcoming monetary policy decision on Thursday, along with central bank meetings for the US and the UK next week. With the ECB, there are uncertainties whether the ECB should opt for a dovish rate hike, meaning increase the rate, but talk about slowing down or pausing in the future, or a hawkish pause, meaning not increasing the interest rate this week, however, discussing future rate increases in the coming months. As they grapple with the changes or the challenges posed by high inflation and weakening economic activity. Among the stocks, SAP tumbled 2.2% after its U.S. peer Oracle projected current quarter revenue below Wall Street targets, as tough economic conditions pressured cloud spending by businesses. All right, so we'll watch and see how this goes coming out of Europe, and as we move closer to Thursday. Then you have Brent crude futures firmed above $90 per barrel on Tuesday, holding near 10-month highs as investors cautiously await key monthly outlook reports for fresh insights on the oil market. Both OPEC and the US EIA released their monthly market reports later today. Traders also looking ahead to a slew of macroeconomic data in the week that could signal whether the US and Europe will continue raising interest rates. Meanwhile, oil prices remain supported by extended supply cuts of OPEC majors, Saudi Arabia and Russia, as well as improving economic outlook in the world's two biggest oil consumers, US and China. Pullback in the dollar ahead of key US inflation data also boosted risk sentiment and made dollar price commodities more attractive for international buyers. So oil is being supported to the upside right now, is what that is telling us. All right. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind to look at some potentially get to the Canadian pairs as well. So over to the calendar, refresh here. Here we go. So today, economic sentiment come out of Germany. That happened this morning. And that's really it for today. We got PPI for the yen tonight, 750. Then tomorrow we have GDP for the pound month over month tomorrow morning, and then we have US CPI data coming out. That's going to be huge, especially as we move into next week, right? Give us some insights on the dollar and what we could see there. Also tomorrow we have employment change and unemployment rate for the Aussie tomorrow night. And then Thursday, right? Interest rate for the euro, PPI data and retail sales for the dollar. It's also going to be big news for the dollar as they prepare for next week, and industrial production out of China. And then on Friday, we got Empire State Manufacturing Index and preliminary consumer sentiment for the dollar. So pretty busy week on the second half, right? So after we get through today, then things will start to pick up a bit when it comes to news announcements and increased volatility. So that's where we are from a fundamental perspective. Let me double check one thing. Yeah, so if you guys check the Discord, there is there's going to be a video summary of what's transpiring in Japan. Reese has been on it big time looking at the yen strength. Over the weekend, there was a report from the Bank of Japan discussing the potential to change their monetary policy by the end of the year if they reach the 2% inflation target in a sustainable manner. That occurred, and there's some other things that came out from the Japanese government, ensuring that the Bank of Japan works with them to make these policy changes in a sustainable manner. And also there is another report regarding some discussions on wage growth, which we know the more money people have, the more they'll spend. So that wage growth will also play into that policy change. But Japan looking at potentially instituting a minimum wage in the future. So, and then increasing that progressively. So some changes are starting to come out of the Bank of Japan. We're going to do a video for you guys in the Discord. So be on the lookout for that. All right. So yeah, any questions fundamentally or anything that you guys saw that you want to put on the table? No.
No.
All right. Cool deal. Got it. All right, sweet. So let's come back here. Okay, so let's hop over to the charts. We'll take a look at the dollar real quick. And the pullback that's happening there. So on the DXY, we had a previous level of resistance that we broke through, and we're sitting kind of in a higher range here, right? This was a previous level of resistance that we broke ending last week, and then we started this pullback this week, right? We gapped down a bit and pressing to the downside, retesting When we look at the 4-hour time frame, we're retesting the B boundary there. So just shy of that 13,077 resistance level. So we'll see if we're able to tap that and potentially get to that. This is a sub fib that I have running here. Tap that D extension on the sub fib at 1398. All right. So that's on the daily time frame. But overall, the dollar's been pushing to the upside. We do have a shallow retracement here. So we'll see what happens at these higher levels. And as we move into next week, if we do start to get that retracement in the DXY and that retracement in those dollar pairs and dollar crosses. So that's the daily time frame. Coming down to the 4. Here's the look on the 4. We got a 4-hour D extension at 13,148. That next resistance level here. We see this pullback, right? Well, initially, right? 50% retracement, double bottom scenario, push up, retesting the B boundary here on this pullback. Now let's see if we continue to rise, right? If we break this level, definitely more bullish action coming. But if we stall at this level, could see this continue to move back downside. So we'll watch the dollar closely and see how the data comes out this week to give us some more indication and insight on where things are and where things could potentially go over the coming weeks and months. So that's where we are on the DXY right now, pushing back to the upside, and we'll see where that ultimately finishes out. All right. Cool. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you, sir? How's everybody?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Doing a lot better.
Awesome. Glad you're feeling better, bro.
Yep.
Glad. Fundamentally, anything, I know you've been at it with going through the articles this morning. Anything catch your eye?
Yeah. Still tearing through them. Posted the UK data, the data out of the UK in the Discord. A little bit mixed, right? So we know we've got the Bank of England's got some decisions to make, right? So
yeah,
you've got wage data coming through high, but then the unemployment rate rose to 4.3%.
right.
So and that's consistent with the monetary policy that they've had, in regards to the rate hikes. But wage growth continues to be sticky.
Yeah.
Which can typically, strengthen the British pound, but at the same time, you got rise out of the unemployment rate. So it just depends on, how the market is taking it overall. I mean, we're not into the New York session yet, but we'll see how that goes. And then talking about Japan, just their game plan to try to curb inflation. That's really what it's all about. So
yeah,
just posted a video manuscript on that. I mean, a audio manuscript on that in the
okay.
in the Discord for everybody to check out. But
Oh, sweet.
that's their game, just trying to combat inflation. So we'll continue to watch and see. We know we saw a reaction yesterday, right?
Yeah. I was just talking about that and some of the stuff that happened over the weekend. We definitely saw a gap down on those yens, but then we saw it kind of been mixed since, a little back and forth at some of those support levels.
Yep, for sure.
So cool. Anything else, bro?
No, that's it right now, man. Just continue to right behind the scenes to tear through a lot of those articles that you sent me, man. Pretty interesting stuff. So
It is, dude. It is, man. Cool deal. Appreciate you, man.
all right.
So that's the DXY. And before I get to those euros and pounds, let's take a look at the yens real quick. This is the dollar yen. As we open the week, this is on the 4-hour, right? You see the gap down here. That's from the news over the weekend coming out of Japan. And then we started to try to trek back to the upside. So we'll see how this continues to move. We know last week the Bank of Japan was talking about a lot of those aggressive moves and then potentially intervening. They didn't necessarily intervene here. However, the words that they chose caused the retracement in the market, right? Which ultimately was the reaction that they were looking for. So we'll see if we start to make our way back to the upside and ultimately get to this D extension on the 4-hour and this 148.57 resistance level. and then maybe even higher, right? We got a 151,941 monthly resistance level here if we break this 148.57 level. So we'll watch this and see how things continue to move, like I said, especially with the dollar news coming out later on this week. So that's the UJ. Over to look at the CAD-yen, and then we'll go through the euros and the pounds and catch the euro, yen, and pound yen. This CAD-yen is still struggling at this daily resistance level, man. We tried to break it a couple times, and then we pushed back down, and now we're coming back to it again. So and this is actually, that's our new resistance level there. So we're just playing around here, stuck in this range, not able to really make a decision. Coming down to the 4, you see this a little bit better. We'll adjust that one as well. Boom, right? And there's that gap again. And then we're pressing back up, closing that gap, and we'll see if we're able to break that level at some point, or if we continue to stay there, right? But right now, stuck in this range. Actually, let's go back to the daily and drop the support level in here. Not a daily support yet. We'll hold off. We'll leave it on the 4-hour, right? We got a 4-hour support here. That's the bottom of this range right here. Right there. So we'll watch this range and see how things continue to move, right? You see, we've been stuck there for quite some time, headed back to the top of that range. Coming down to the 1, not a ton doing. This is the overall fib. Clean this up a little bit. That's our larger move there, but this is our capital fib here on the 1, and price is trying to make its way to the upside, right? But we got some work to do to break through this level. Hold on one second, everybody. My bad, everybody. Got a kid under the weather this morning, so interesting morning. So anywho, trying to make our way to the upside. We'll see if we're able to break this daily resistance level and make some higher highs here. So we shall see. But that's the CAD-yen. This was the move Sunday, Monday, right? And now we're making that move back to the upside. So we'll see what happens at the top of that. Any questions on this CAD-yen? No? Okay.
No.
Cool deal. Appreciate it. Swiss yen. Similar story. So the Swiss yen, right, coming back to the daily time frame. We got this previous resistance level here, which has served as support once and trying to serve as support twice here, right? So we got the press down, but we weren't able to break the support level at 164.54. So it's just a question of what happens, right? How do things transpire going forward with the kind of the back and forth with the Bank of Japan and the Japanese government and how they handle monetary policy going forward. So we'll see as we move through the week this week on where we go from there. Coming down to the 4, you see the gap down there, but pushed right to the support level, and that level held, right? That level held. Tried to break it, but wasn't able to. And now we're slowly making our way to the upside. So we'll see if we turn over at some point and then break that. But that's what I have my eyes on, is this level. If we stay above this level, I want to see price continue to rise, at least getting into this 118, 127 zone. But I really would love price to push even higher. To be honest with you, selfishly, right, I want to see price get to this 176, 321 level, right? And it's on a monthly time frame. This is a monthly de-extension here, right? If we get to this monthly de-extension level, then we could see some major action happen. Will we get there with what's happening verbally coming out of the Bank of Japan? Maybe not, right? But we'll see how things move over the coming weeks. So, and that will push us on the 4 hour, right, through the de-extension and above. So maybe we get a retracement first and then that continuation higher. We'll see. So that's the 4 coming down to the 1. I got fibs running off the high here, right? And AB boundaries form there. We're pressing to the 118, 127 zone, and that's that retracement there. So we'll see if we close that gap and if we take out this A boundary and continue pressing higher. So nothing, no action right now on these, but watching to see where these retracements go. And if we take out the A's on these smaller waves to the downside and make some higher levels before this full move to the downside that we're ultimately anticipating or at some point, right? So we shall see there. That's the Swiss yen. Questions here? And there's the capital fib on the 1. All right, so the matching de-extension is there above that high. Oh, all right, cool deal. Aussie yen, same story, right? And this one has already closed the gap, but still stuck in this range on the Aussie yen. So not a ton of happening from a higher time frame perspective, right? Still just moving sideways through that range there. Down on the 1 is where we see the action. So AB boundary 618 retracement, and this is that gap down, and then we pushed right back into the zone. So it's just a matter of, right, again, do we stay below this 94 976 level, right? We already closed the gap from Sunday and we're pressing higher. We're deep in the zone now. So we know we got some back and forth data on the Aussie, right? So does this start to push down before some of the other yen crosses? That's kind of yet to be determined. Sorry, trying to move this over here. There we go. Right. So that's what if you're playing this off the 1, right, that's what a potential setup could look like on the 1 hour. Something like that, pushing back down to the bottom of that range. So waiting to see here on this Aussie yen. You could play this if this meets your rules as a short-term move to the downside. Still above the cloud there on the 1. As you come down to the 5, right, and looking at that, that's a larger move, but on the 5, we did get a cloud break and a retest of the cloud, right, and we're bearish ahead, so we're pressing down. So that retracement could come on the 5-minute time frame. For those that trade these lower time frames, could have an opportunity there. Let's come down here. Boom. Right, and this could be just a shorter term retracement to then continue back to the upside, right, based on the fib here, unless we take out the A. Okay, so we got a 618 retracement, pulling back, and then see if we turn back over and make our way to the D extension there. So that's the Aussie yen. Questions here?
Nope.
Cool deal. Updates on the Euro Aussie. Trying to make its way to the downside, but we're also struggling at this support level, right? Came back to the resistance at 168, pressed down to that support level, and is holding right now, right? So the monetary policy decision coming on Thursday could give us a catalyst, depending on what the ECB decides to do. that could be our catalyst for a break of the support if they come in dovish, right, and give us that continued move to the downside, right? But been a great move so far, but got a double bottom trying to develop here at this 166 level. Coming down to the 4, there's an overall 80-20 scenario. Been a great move so far, right? But we see that double bottom there, right? So do we get a short-term pullback and then a continuation down, or do we press back to the top of the range, right? That's the question here on the 4. That data will give us the catalyst for. And then coming down to the 1, here's the move on the 1. We got a 50% retracement, the extension just below that support level. Okay, so we had some strong bearish action here, right? So does this retracement just take back some of that move and then continue to the downside? That's what we'll ultimately continue watching to see, right? But been a great move off the highs, sitting at 298 pips, 299 pips off the high, off the original entry. So been a beautiful move. It managed the trade accordingly, so that you're moving the stop loss and the profit, and you are protecting some of your position as price continues to move. All right, but been a great situation so far. Questions on this Euro Aussie? Here's a look on the 30-minute as well. No. All right, cool deal. We're getting that retracement on the 5. Right, so we got the retracement there. You can see the double bottom on the 5-minute, price trying to push back to the upside. Okay, Euro CAD. This is one that could be interesting. Pressing to the downside now, right? So we got this overall fib. We got an 80-20 here on the daily time frame, right? Double bottom at that daily weekly support, pressed to the upside, came back to that level, pressed up again into the zone, and now we're trying to make our way back to the downside. Okay, but we got daily support here at 144.872. Does this level hold is the question that I'm asking, and that I'm looking for confirmation on. Coming down to the 4, right, we got 8.6 retracement, just barely missed the D extension there on that push up, and then we came back down to the downside. Okay, so pressing down, we know we got some a little bit of strength in the CAD, primarily with boosts in oil. So we'll see how things transpire there. But here we go on the 1-hour time frame. We got an 80-20 scenario. Looking for price to push down into this zone, 145.36 to 145.21. Right, if we get another push to the downside and potentially tap this daily support level, right, at 144.948, would love to see that happen, and then give us a retracement. Give us a retracement at a high price to then get back short, right? And then get back short. So we'll see how things transpire through the day. But if we get this daily support tap and that level holds, definitely going to be looking for some long opportunities here, right? At least in the short term. So we're just stalling right now. We'll see what happens when the New York session opens, right? But looking for this last push to the downside, and then a retracement here on the 1-hour time frame. All right. So keep this on your radar. Get that one posted in the Discord for us to track. But that's where we are on the Euro CAD. And if we come down through the time frames, right, 30-minute down, the extension is in line with that daily support level, right? So a little bit of confirmation of that daily support level potentially being a target before we get a reversal. And as we track down even lower, right, we tap the 382 here on the 15. That extension is just below that daily support level as well. So some confirmation of these lower levels potentially being hit before we get a reversal here. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for on this Euro CAD. Any questions here?
No.
No. All right. All right. Keep rocking. Euro Swiss bouncing back and forth. Still stuck in this, excuse me, at these lower levels here. Got that 50%, no, 382. And we're stuck down here at this daily support level. Haven't been able to break out in either direction, just bouncing back and forth. Thought we might get a little boost here, but we came right back into the zone. So still waiting on price to make a decision. Okay, still waiting on price to make a decision. We'll narrow this in a little bit. Another support resistance level there. Boom. And we'll drop this one down also. All right, so now we come to the 4, and here on the 4 is where we have 80-20 scenario. And we're just waiting to develop. All right, waiting to see if we get price to turn over and press to the upside. Okay, it's just a waiting game. Waiting game. All right. Hold on one second. All right. So we'll see what happens and see where price decides to move. Okay. Coming down to the 1. All right, we got the 80-20 scenario on the 1 hour as well, just pressing sideways. Just pressing sideways. You got the cloud on here on the 1, and we broke above, had a nice push, came back to retest with bullish ahead. So we'll see if this is just a retest of the cloud, forced to make our way higher, right? So we'll watch that and continue to see. We had similar action here and we came back below. So we'll continue to watch that one and see, but just waiting as that one presses to the side. Okay, so that's the Euro Swissy to the Euro Pound. Another slow mover. Trying to get some action to the upside though. Here on the daily is what I'm looking at here. Both the Euro and the Pound are in interesting situations, but we're sitting low in the zone, right? 786 retracement, got a weekly support level that we haven't been able to break through. We're made a higher low, right? But haven't been able to make any higher highs yet, right? So trying to move, but we know with this Euro GBP, it takes its time doing its dance whenever it decides to do whatever it's going to do. So still got some work to do here, but we're trying to start moving to the upside. As we come down to the 4, there's a closer look at that slow move there. Okay, we had an 80-20 scenario, pushed up on the 4, got to a 50% retracement level, came back down. Now we'll see if we get an opportunity to continue pressing to the upside. To the 1. And this is the look on the 1, right? Here's our fib. We got a 50% retracement and a push up, right? So trying to make its way to the D extension. If we do, we'll be able to take out that high. That could give us some confirmation if we stay above to continue moving to the upside. Okay, so overall, I'm bullish on this one. It's just moving super slow, and I'm tracking this one off the daily time frame. So it's going to be a longer term scenario here. If price does make its way up, got to break this level 86,951 to really give some good confirmation. But right, it'd be 946 pip move to the upside if we're able to make it there. So that's the long-term scenario. We'll see what happens. I dig it, Joy. I dig it, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it really starts to develop. And if it does and we break that level, then we might have some opportunities to add to that position as price makes its way higher. So that's the Euro GBP. Any questions here? Anybody I know Joy's not, but anybody trading this pair to the upside or anything on this pair at all?
I am actually in on a Euro GBP right now.
You're in it too, my man.
I am in it. I did take the shot.
We'll take a look at it in about 8 months and see if it broke that $86 level.
We shall see.
This is one if you really want a test of your patience. This is one to try patience on. All right, it'll definitely test it. So that's the Euro GBP. Yeah, we scale into them. So put your toes in the water, see if you get some confirmation. Like I said, we break that 86,951 level. That'll be some confirmation for us to continue to look higher. So cool deal. Questions on the Euro GBP? No? All right.
No.
Appreciate it. Euro yen, right? Similar to the rest of them. I'm going to come to the weekly time frame here. We got a 236 retracement on the strong push to the downside, gave us a weekly support, and we've just been pressing sideways, right? Just been pressing sideways. We got a 118, 127 zone here at 165, 164, 165 level. 170 is a monthly D extension, right? Where we broke out previously on Bank of Japan intervention, right? That's where we broke out. That was a support level that we broke. So that's why I have this zone marked out. But if we push into this range here, we'll be having 80-20 on the weekly time frame. I know I'm asking for a lot with what's happening in Japan. So we'll see if I get that. But I am looking for a potential upside move here before we make that longer trek to the downside, at least to the support level. But even potentially lower, depending on how things develop in Japan. So coming to the daily time frame, it's a fresh AB boundary here, right? Making lower highs and lower lows, but we got a daily support here. Just like on the rest of the yens, we got this daily support here that we weren't able to break through on that gap down, right? And we stayed above. So we'll see, right? We got some work to do. We got to break this daily level here, right? Break out of this range, bottom of the range, top of the range. Got to break that to be able to continue higher, but we also got to break the support level to continue lower, right? So we'll see how things continue to move as we move forward. So coming down to the 4, right? And that Euro data could give us a catalyst as well on this one, right? So coming here to the 4, we got our 80-20 scenario. If we break that, we head to the D extension. We don't get this 80-20 scenario to play out on this fib. Okay. So, but conversely, right, if then statements, if price breaks this daily support level and holds, break, retest, right, then we'll look for opportunities lower. Okay. But we're holding right now at this level. We're holding there. Okay. So we'll see how things move. Coming down to the 1. Take that off. There's a scenario there, right? We tried to break that level, but we broke back above in a strong way. We came back and retested it, and now we're trying to make our way to the upside. So we'll see if we're able to close this gap, right? And then continue pushing to the upside here. Okay, so we'll watch and see. But again, this daily level 156,833 is key in order for this to stay to the upside. If we break that, we're headed low. Okay, coming down to the lower time frames, we'll see what it looks like on the 15 and 5. Oh, there we go. Right, here is your fresh AB boundary. Push, retest, and then push to the upside. So we'll continue to watch it there. And then on the 5, see if we got any intraday scenarios here. Don't think we do yet. $786 retracement there. So if we get back to that support level, we take out that 8. So that's one to watch there, see if we get a push to the upside. If we break that high, then that could give us some catalyst on the lower time frames for that continuation to the upside. The interview that the governor of the Bank of Japan did over the weekend is what caused the gap. That was the question. What caused the gap? Interview that came out of Japan with the Kishida said that Bank of Japan could potentially start shifting their monetary policy by the end of the year if they reach 2% inflation in a sustainable way. So that's what caused the gap. And that happened on all the yen crosses. Okay, so that's the EJ. That's the EJ. So we'll see what happens here. Any questions on this euro yen?
No.
Nope. All right. Cool. We'll keep rocking through these euros. Euro NZD. We've been short here, right? Weekly time frame. We're watching to see if we get this crown to develop, right? We got a swing high to form here with the close of last week. And now we're just indecisive a bit. Okay. So we'll see if we get some more downside pressure coming to the daily, right? We did tap the 382 here, but we ran into these higher levels and started making our way back down to the downside. Okay. Go back to the weekly real quick. On this harmonic fib, it's a 618 retracement. So if this crown pattern does play out over the long term, right? Longer term downside move is 128. We'll see if we get there. Tons of things would have to happen in order for that to transpire. So we'll see. But we got a weekly support level here at 163, 493. And a support level here that I did not mark. Right there. Right. So we got some levels to break through to get there, but next level to watch will be 171, 918 if we're able to continue to make this move to the downside. So coming here to the daily again, right, sitting at the support level right now, double bottom look if we close higher. So we'll continue to watch to see how this develops, right? But we got our downtrend trying to form here, right? So that's our trend line to the downside. So we'll monitor that and see if price is able to stay below, okay? So that's on the daily, coming down to the 4. AB boundary. We weren't able to push into that 118, 127 zone, but stalled at that weekly level and pushed down. Okay, so hovering right now at the support, we got to break that and break this daily support to give us additional confirmation of the move to the downside, but some downside potential there, especially if we get retracements on the dollar and more of a risk on environment. We could see some of this happen, and if we get additional confirmation with if the ECB comes in dovish, right? So tons of things got to happen again in order for this to really make a stronger move to the downside, but we'll see how things develop. On the 618 retracement, boom. Right. So we'll see if we're able to complete this fib to the downside. Okay. So that's the Euro NZD. Been a decent move to the downside so far. Off that entry there. Right. It's 128 pips to the downside. So been a decent move, so we'll continue to watch it and see how things develop. Okay. Questions on the Euro NZD? There's a trend line. Cool. Another one just to be patient with, right? Be patient and manage the trade. Euro dollar trying to give us a retracement. We pushed down. So this is what's interesting here, right? We pushed down, we broke this daily support level, boom, came back, tested that level, and now we're pushing back down to the downside. So we looked at the dollar. We know we got dollar data coming in later this week. So we'll see how this continues to move, see if we're able to break back above this and continue higher in a retracement, or if that data is strong for the dollar, we'll continue pushing down to a 106,339 level. All right. Coming down to the 4. There we are, 50% retracement, and we're making our way lower. D extension here. So looking at price likely to get to this D extension 106,314 before we get potentially any changes. All right. So we'll see what happens there. We know the dollar is reversing and pushing back to the upside. So it makes sense for this one to be pushing down. But we got to break this 4-hour support level before continuing to the D extension there. Okay, coming to the 1. Here's where we have some potential here, right? I drew out this marking. I'll show you what I'm thinking about, but potential 80-20 trying to develop, right? Shallow retracement. We broke that level, tested that level, pushing down, right? 118, 127 zone is in line with this daily support level, which is also in line with the D extension on the 4-hour. Okay. So this could be a reversal point for us if we get price to push into the zone. Okay. And if that level holds, and then we get a push back to the upside like so, and then maybe we get a crown pattern to form, giving us that deeper retracement. All right. So we'll watch and see how things evolve here with the dollar, but that could be potential opportunity for us if this 106,356 level holds, and we get a retracement in the dollar. Be it this week or as we move into next week. All right. So, and that could set us up for a high price to then get back short. Right. So at some point, we got to get a retracement. Right. At some point, we got a 382 here. See if we get a 382 here, maybe deeper, but give us a high price, and then we'll look to get short and continue moving with the dollar and the dollar bulls to their whatever that destination may be. All right, but that's what I'm looking at on the euro dollar. Being patient on this one as well, trying to wait for price to get down into these lower levels here. Okay. Questions on the euro dollar?
Nope.
All right, so we'll see how it evolves. Pound Aussie. Check the progress here. We move to that support level, right? There's our 80-20 on the daily. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Didn't get to the D extension, turned over. Right? So we're at this weekly support level, which we said we're going to watch this zone here to see what happens, right? If we're able to break below that, retest it, and continue down, beautiful for us, right? So we'll continue to watch this to see how it transpires, but we really want to see that level broken, retesting a high here, right? We want to see that level broken and then held, and then a continuation lower, and then we'll look at that 189, 357 level as the next target. Coming down to the 4. There's an 80-20 scenario. Boom. Right? So it's been a beautiful move down so far. Again, got to break that level, right? Off the entry, almost 500 pips to the good. We break that, get to that 382. That's 790 to the 382 from that original entry there. So beautiful move, right? Beautiful move. I actually adjust this now. There. Boom. Right? So been a great move to the downside, but definitely want to see that daily level broken and then get us to our TP1 on the 4-hour at that 382. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for now, is what'll be the catalyst to give us that break. Okay. We got some Aussie data coming out, I believe tomorrow night. So we'll watch and see. So here on the 1, we got fibs running off the high here, tracking the moves. We got a 382 push. Didn't get a deep price here for me to add to it, but moving to the downside nonetheless. So we hit the D extension on the 1 hour, which is in line with that support level. So a retracement of some sort makes sense. We'll get a swing low and a new fib to form, right? Yep, that should pop in relatively soon. Boom. Right. So that's our fresh AB boundary here on the 1. Look for a retracement and then a continuation lower. Okay. That's what I'm looking at there. We're below the cloud, right? You see the break and you see the run. Okay. So we'll continue managing this into the downside, but moving in our favor. You guys still holding this into the downside?
I am. I got a TP1 hit on the 80-20 on the 1 hour, like over 500 pips. I just posted it in the Discord.
Let's see. Right here. Oh, I got you. Yep, yep. Boom. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you're playing off the 1. Love it. Love it. Right. So, right. People talk about these moves don't happen, right? They definitely do. You just got to understand how the waves move, right? They happen regularly. So that's where we are on the pound Aussie. We'll continue to track it, right? 500 pips so far, and we'll see if we continue moving to the downside. All right. Pound CAD. So weekly time frame, weren't able to push into the 118, 127 zone, right? Stalled at this weekly level, double top, and now we're pressing back down to the downside, right? In favor of the CAD. We got mixed data with the pound, some strength coming with the Canadian dollar and oil. So we're pressing down. So coming here to the daily on that move that we were into the upside, right? Taking out in profit, we broke this daily support level, right? So we're headed down. Next level 168,687. Okay, next level for us to eye and see what happens there, but pressing down, right? Beautiful, strong move to the downside. So we'll see how far we press. Coming to the 4, you see the move here, right? Original entry was down here on the move up, and now we're coming right back down to those lower levels. So we'll watch and see what happens with the Canadian dollar and the pound, right? Pound rate statement coming next week. Let's see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens as we continue to press to these lower levels. Don't have this level down. There we go. That's what that should look like. There we go. Right. So strong move to the downside. So we'll watch this next level 168,687 to see if it holds. But we may continue lower. Right. We may break that level as well. If we do, we'll look for a break and retest and continuation. Okay. So we'll watch and see it as price moves to the downside. Coming to the 1. There we are. Right. This was a entry opportunity here off the deep retracement to get into that move to the downside, but we're tracking lower. Okay, we're tracking lower. So we already got a 382 push, so we're not looking for anything until we get to the D extension and get a reset. Okay, so nothing doing right now. Beautiful break and retest. We'll look for that continuation. So we'll watch for that D extension be hit at some point, and then we'll look for we'll look to see if we get any opportunities there. Okay. So that's the pound CAD. On the lower time frames, you potentially look for a high price to get short. That's the overall direction. So let's see here, right? 1 hour, we hit the D extension there. Boom. The extension achieved. So we could look for new AB boundary to form here for a pullback. Retest the cloud, retest this daily level again, and an opportunity to get short, right? But on the lower time frames, what I'd be looking for is moves in the same direction as price is going. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for here. Right. Just missed that 382, so could get a move, but again, that level probably hold us up. But give us a high price to get short. Okay, and then down on the 5. Here we go. We'll track these through. There we go. And there we are on the 5. Right. So that next support level, that's not there, right? So here on the 5 could be an opportunity, right? We talked about this 168 level. So this could be an opportunity for us for potential 80-20 if this support level holds. This could give us a retracement here. Boom. Right. And then a high price to get short. So we'll watch that and see if this on the lower time frames develops for us and gives us an 80-20 on the 5 minute and gives us that retracement there. That could be a nice play for us. Intraday opportunity on the lower time frames, right? That'd be 131 pips to the upside if we get that action. So there's an opportunity there on the 5. We'll watch it develop. Questions on the pound CAD? No.
No.
All right. Boom. Like that. All right. Cool deal. All right. What we got next? Pound yen. Another interesting one. Daily. We're trying to break this daily level, but just like the rest, we're struggling here, right? So got a reaction. We're indecisive right now, sitting at that daily level. I'm looking for a retracement here. I'm looking for price to push to the upside. So we'll see what happens. But retesting previous resistance and support, right in that zone. So indecision there. We got a 236 retracement. So again, here is I would love selfishly to see price push into these higher ranges. Right. So we'll see what transpires at this 183, 283 level. Price is struggling in both directions right now. We're coming down to the 4, right? We got a 382 push, so it's not an 80-20 scenario, but we're playing in the range, right? Playing in the range. So we got a 786 retracement here. The extension is here at 182, 432. Okay, so on the 4-hour, we've broken below this level, but we've just been moving sideways through it. So it's a matter of, does this level at some point hold, and do we get a push back to the upside, or do we get a firm break and continuation lower? So that's what we're looking at here on this pound yen, right? Potential range play, but if we stay below, get a nice aggressive move down, then we'll continue lower to 179, 898. Okay. Coming down to the 1. Boom. All right, AB boundary, push up, and then we got to move back down. This is that gap from the weekend, right? And I was looking at a potential crown pattern here, but that didn't play out. So it pushed, held at that 1-hour level, and now on the 1-hour, we got nice breaks below, right? So it's a matter of, do we continue to stay below and continue to head lower, right? And if we're able to close on the daily time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, right, that'd give more confirmation for this to continue lower for me. So that's where we are on the pound yen. It's moving sideways right now. We'll see what transpires to give us a catalyst in one direction or the other, right? My bias is more bullish on this one still, even though the narrative for the Bank of Japan is starting to shift. In the short term, my bias is still bullish on this one. Yeah. So questions on the pound yen?
No.
Deal. And then the pound dollar. Daily time frame. Right. We just missed that 382 level. And we're headed down. Boom. Right. Weekly support here. We got a daily support level here that I missed as well. Right there. Boom. So pressing down, right? Daily support level coming in, right? 123. See if we press that and see what happens in this range, daily support, weekly support, right? And see if that holds and gives us a push back to the upside. We'll see, right? More data, more dollar based potentially than anything else right now. Here on the 4, 80-20 scenario, right? TP1 hit. TP1 hit, pressing down. Okay, pressing down. So bring this level down. Boom. Right, TP1 hit off the 80-20. Now let's see what happens as we move into this 50% 618 retracement level. Okay, we'll see what happens, but that's been a crazy move to the downside. 600, almost 700 pips to the downside, potentially more to go, right? So looking at this daily support level, weekly support level, potentially a floor for price to settle in, and then we'll see if we get price to push to the upside. Right. So we'll watch those lower levels to see. Coming down to the 1, 618 retracement, matching the extension, coming in line with that support. Right. Yep. Past is repeating itself. Right. These support levels come into play. So looking for price to come in to these lower levels and settle in. And then see if we potentially get a reversal. High price to then get back short. Right. So we'll watch this one develop and see how it goes. Okay. Doing some testing on the lower time frames. Here's a 15-minute play. Didn't get deep in the zone, but got to a 382 off of 80-20 on the 15-minute. This was that low point? Friday. Yeah, Friday was the low, right? And then got to move up to the upside. So doing some mapping out there. But yeah. So now we're pressing back down to the downside here on the 15. The extension comes in line with that support level as well. Okay. So pushing down, but we got some support levels to watch to see if we get something to change, a catalyst to push us back to the upside. Okay. Questions on the pound dollar. All right. Watch these support levels. No. All right. Sweet. And come over here. NZD JPY. Here's that NZD Swiss. Just an update on that. It's slowly trying to make its way. I won't do a full markup on this one, just give us a quick update, but slowly making its way. Still hovering in this 118, 127 zone. Still got to break that level at 52,976, but slowly making its way to the upside there. Okay. NZD JPY. Just sideways. Even the cloud shows that, right? Just pressing sideways. Not fun, not fun, not fun. Let's come back. We'll take the cloud off. right? And you see, like, it's literally just a press sideways. So I don't have anything on this one. It's just moving in a straight line sideways. That's it. All right. So as you track down through the time frames to the 4, you see the squeeze. Right? See the squeeze. On the 1, same thing. Right? Not a range that I'm trying to trade. So I need price to move in one direction or the other. Right? So that's not anything fun to play with. So we'll let that one stay where it is. I dig it, and I dig it. That's the goal. One step at a time, we will get there. All right. Consistently profitable is the goal. And you get there by taking one step at a time, implement, learn, implement, learn, implement, learn. All right. That's the cycle. So we will get there. So that's the NZD JPY. Pound NZD. Pressing down. That was actually a nice move off the deep retracement to the downside. You talking about this pound NZD or NZD JPY? Yeah, no, I trade it when it's moving, but it's indecisive right now. It's indecisive right now. So I'm chilling on it. Back on the daily on this pound NZD, that fib is off. So we'll draw it in manually. Should look like this. Boom. Right. So fresh AB boundary, retracement coming. We'll see what happens at this 209 level, right? Previous resistance, see if it holds its support and gives another push to the upside, or if it gets broken and continues to the downside. So that's something to watch there as we move through. Coming down to the 4. Did I miss some levels here? I did. So we got a resistance level right here. Boom. Pressing down, right? Yeah, we broke that support level, so we're headed lower. Okay, so this is where we are there, coming to the 4. We'll run the fibs off the low. Right, so deep retracement here on the 4-hour, and we're still pressing lower. Okay, starting to move a bit sideways, so we'll see if we get the continuation to the downside and take out the A, but it's been a move to the downside, so we'll watch this to see how things continue to move. All right, so come down to the 1. Run the fib off the high here. That's where we are, right? So headed to the D extension, 618 retracement, matching D extension 210. Okay, then we get there, we look for a reset, high price, potentially get back short. All right, so nothing doing right now. We'll wait for this one to reset, but that's the pound NZD to the downside. Okay, questions here? Nope. All right. And then I don't believe I have anything on this pound Swissy either. Yeah, no, nothing here. Nothing here, right? Similar to the NZD JPY, just sideways. Just sideways. So nothing doing on this pound Swissy. Nothing on the pound Swissy. All right. Questions on any of the pairs that we covered this morning, or anything else for that matter? Benny, you got anything you got your eyes on, bro?
Oh man, just been paying attention to the indices, right? So we played the 80-20 on the S&P.
Yeah.
Now they're moving back long. So just keep your eye on the indices. They're moving pretty good for us. Nice waves.
Boom. Yeah, I forgot about that. This is the 80-20 that was played. Shallow retracement, 118 127 zone. Boom, breakdown, right? Deep retracement, 786 level. Now we're making our way back to the upside, right? So that's the wave Benny's talking about, right? You got your A, your B, your C, right? Now matching the extension, 454, right? So we'll watch and see as price continues to move there. Okay. On the 4, that was a fresh AB boundary. And we'll see if we break these high levels. We may not get that much, but at least get back to just above that B boundary here on the 4 hour. But that's the 80-20 there. That was a beautiful play, right? Beautiful move down. Now we're tracking the move back up, right? So as you get back to this 4 hour resistance level, we'll watch and see how things move, right? We may get up and close some of these gaps higher, some of these higher level resistance levels, but moving back to the upside, okay? So beautiful play there. NASDAQ, similar, right? Beautiful 80-20 scenario, boom, right? Just shy of TP2, and we got a reversal out, right? So 50% retracement, matching the extension, 15,687, right? No matter the time frame, no matter the asset class, the market moves in waves, right? And these 80-20 scenarios are beautiful opportunities to play the retracements. And then the deep levels are opportunities to ride the trend in the direction, right? You can make money on the way up and the way down. Just got to understand how to see the waves. All right. So that's where we are. All right. Beautiful scenarios. Took the time playing out, but they played out beautifully. And now they're making their way back to the upside and wait for resets. And then we'll do it all over again. All right. So that's it, right? It's a process. This trading game is a process, right? It's not something that the marketers won't tell you this, but it's not something that you're going to get overnight. You're not going to get rich overnight, right? But if you're willing to take the time to learn the process, understand how the market moves, understand how the waves develop, and be able to understand yourself at a deeper level, you'll have an opportunity to make some money in this space. But you got to be willing to put in the work, right? You got to be willing to put in the work, the time and the effort that it's going to take to become a better individual, to better understand yourself, understand your emotions, understand your triggers, and understand the waves in the market and move with them. So that's what it is, man. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir. Great session. Just again, make sure you check the fundamentals in the group. We put a audio manuscript in there, and then we've got notes on the data coming out of the UK.
Cool deal. Appreciate it for taking care of that, bro. All right, good people. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Have an awesome day. Find your 1% today, right? Learn a lesson. Win. Have success. Take one step toward your desire. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.